Good morning. Happy Friday, guys. Let me get this, find this video. So did everybody else's Facebook update? It might have just been on a PC they did an update, but usually I roll with the punches with these, but I really don't like this one. It's a lot slower now. Oh, good, I can see your comments. Good morning. I'm having a hard time finding things. It used to just be so simple, and now it's like, but I found it. And it takes a while for you guys to get here anyway, so. Okie dokie. So good morning. We are good to go now. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Hello. Welcome. It's Friday. We are doing a special live Friday drawing today since I wasn't around on Monday to draw for you. We are doing a doodle page today, so you don't get any sort of preview of it. In fact, when we do these doodle pages, I don't even pre-draw them, so I don't go off of an example and then recreate it. So I'm drawing it for the first time with you guys. So we are going to be working in pen for those who are comfortable with that. If you still want to do yours in pencil, you are more than welcome to if you're not at that pen stage yet. And we're kind of incorporating some things from the road trip I just took, and then just some kind of general road trip type things. Like with all pages, you can customize them however you want with all drawings, really. So if you have something that you always take on a road trip, maybe it's your favorite snack, or I don't know, your favorite drink or your favorite place to visit, you can incorporate that into your road trip drawing. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Tomorrow we are having a sip and draw at 8 o'clock, the time, that we moved to. And we're doing a peacock. So that's tomorrow's sip and draw theme. And then if you didn't see it already, we didn't create an event for the one for tomorrow. It just kind of got muddy because we partnered up with a local cider company. Their stuff is amazing. That jalapeno pear cider is like out of this world, and it's never anything I would have ordered, because I would have seen jalapeno and been like, yeah, no thanks. So we're partnering up with them. So there is an event for that one. That is not for this Saturday. The pear drawing is the Saturday. It's in a week. So that gives you time to order your special pear packages. If you like, there's going to be lots of cute little things thrown into that box for you. And I think that's it. There's a survey on the group. A lot of you have already taken it with regards to how things are going to change. I have to change things because, my son is going back into school, and he's going to have to be doing that from home. And then, I know we do have a broad age range of people drawing with us. We have the kids, but then we also do have a lot of adults. And I just kind of have to find something like that kind of works into my schedule and my son's schedule and all of that good stuff. So I want some of your feedback, and then I'm going to work with my own schedule as well. So that's it. I can quit yammering away now and start drawing. There's going to be things on this drawing that are not going to come out perfect. With road trips, there's signs and making those shapes perfect the first time. If you're drawing in pen, you're just going to have to let it go. You're just going to have to realize that this is meant to be a doodle page. It's meant to be something like if you were on a road trip, you'd have a journal and you just sit there and draw doodle little things that you see along your road trip. That's what this is meant to be. So here we go. I'm going to turn on my light and flip you around. started. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do for my page, I kind of want a central image, and then I'm going to do like a road trip around that central image. So I'm going to start mine with a sign. And this is probably the shape that's going to be, even for me, the trickiest. So I'm just going to do a curve to a point. Repeat that on the other side. So almost like you're making an upside down, one of those simple bird shapes. And then from these corners, you're having a line that angles downward and out. That's not even. You can kind of tell when things are even. Like if I'm looking at that, I can tell that this is lower than this. And the best way to really even that out is just to kind of have your pen as a guide. So I know I need to bring this down just a smidge. That's a lot better. Now, these signs they end in a point here, and you kind of want to line up your points. So what I would do is put a dot. Think about how big you want that sign to be, and put yourself a dot. So see that little faint dot? It's kind of lined up with this. And now what I have to do is do a wavy line. It's going to curve in and back out and back in and then come to that dot. Now, recreating this exactly like it is on this side over here is never going to happen. So you're going to just have to kind of let it go. In, out, back around, and to the point. And you can see my sign is all wonky. This side is really bulged out. This side is a little flatter, but I did it in pen, so I kind of have to just let it go. If I was working in pencil, I would adjust this line up and change the shape a little bit, but once I get my other things on here, it's not going to matter. So I'm going to do a line going across. And then I'm going to make mine a Highway 1 sign. So I'm going to put a block letter 1. A block letter. How about a block number, Stacy? A block number 1 in the middle. And then I'm going to do the little side leg of that one. It's easier to break that into the two parts. And then this will all get colored in black. And there's a couple different versions of these highway signs. There's this one, which is typically white. One has red and blue. And then there's like this much more simple green version, which is a different shape. It's like a little bit more of a rounded triangle. So if you struggle with this shape, you could always do that more simple green highway sign. And then since I'm leaving mine in black and white, I'm actually going to put the little border edge on the inside of it. So I'm just following the shape all the way on the inside. And these are fun to do after you've taken a trip, whether it's a road trip, maybe you fly somewhere, and just every place you visit, note what your favorite thing of that trip was, and then do yourself a little fun page with regards to it. So that's kind of going to be the start of my doodle. And then now I'm going to do some other kind of fun shapes built around it. And you'll kind of see what the pattern is that I'm going to do here. So I am going to put a bus. I always love when you see those Westfalia Vanagon buses. So I'm going to start with a line going straight across. And then I'm going to come up, round it around. So it's almost like I'm making a marshmallow, but on one side it's rounded and on the other side it's not. So see points on this end, curves on the top. A little bit to the right of center, I'm going to do a curved line up. A little bit to the left of center, a curved line up on the other side, trying to match those up as much as possible. And then that same shape on the top. A little circle where that VW logo would be. Circles in here for the headlights. And I'm going to do circles inside of those circles. A little bit to the left of center again, I'm going to put a curved edge square. And then another one next to it, leaving a tiny little gap in between. These are our windows. And you could do some little lines for just the reflection in the window. I'm going to add a little bit to the bottom here that is rounded. This is our bumper. And the bumper will have two little rectangles. Make that one a little bit wider. And I'm going to color these in black. This is kind of that piece that's holding the bumper on. And then the tires will be down below. So you're making just kind of a curved rectangle shape on each side. Again, trying to make a match as close as possible. And then so they look like tires, you want to put those tread marks, those lines through them. I just put a couple. By the windows, I'm going to do little side mirrors. So I'm just going to put two little dashed lines. So see that? It's open. And then I'll put an oval off of that. And I'll do the same on the other side. and the oval. And then I really want a little roof rack on mine. So I'm going to put two little, almost like what we just did for the side mirrors. I'm going to do two little lines up on the top. And a long, skinny hot dog shape for the platform. And then you could put a piece of luggage, a piece or two of luggage, or you could do more of like a bag, or you could kind of put a tent up on the top, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to do like a curved edge rectangle. One that's a little bit bigger and one that's a little bit smaller. I'll put a little handle for my suitcase right here. So I'm going to do two little lines off to the sides, and then I'm going to attach those with a curved line so it kind of looks like a little handle for a suitcase. And then this one will maybe just be more like a bag. So I'll put a little curved line like hanging, like the handle is hanging down. But we also need to make sure that these don't topple off, right? So we need a strap. So it's going to go right over the top of some of what we drew. And I'm going to do a line that comes down all the way to the bottom of my platform, of my roof rack. And a little line next to it. And then same on this side. And then I'll color that in black. And that will be the little straps holding down my luggage. Super cute. All right, let's over here. I'm just going to jump all over the page and then you'll see how we kind of connect it all. So I'm going to do a line. We've made this shape before when we do those stars, and then a cross line that I want a little bit longer than, oh, I'm off. There you go. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to connect these like this with like a curve that's pretty thin into the sides. I'm going to repeat that on the bottom. And then an N, an E for my little compass. S, W. It's a little compass shape. Mom, we're going to have some sort of tutorial because I think there's a faster way for you to find it. Now let's draw a curved edge rectangle. I'm off the video again. And this is going to be our speed limit sign. So speed limit. Kind of line those letters up since they both have the same amount of letters in each word. And then I'm going to put 65. That was the most common speed limit on my drive. So I'm going to write that out, and then I'm going to come in and make the numbers at least a little bit wider. See how I just kind of outline them and add some thickness to them. We laughed a lot on this drive because you would go through, if you've ever been on Highway 1, it's windy. And we were laughing because most of the time it said the speed limit was 55, but anyone who could drive that road 55 is amazing because there's no way in heck I could drive it that fast. Oh, and I forgot something in this. Inside this sign up at the top, we would have a U and an S. So same kind of thing. I'm going to put the U, and then I can add to it. And with the S, I'm going to go ahead and make it a block letter just to begin with. So I make it the same size as the U, so it kind of fits the same space, if that makes sense. And then we'll color this in. Now, let's see, what do I want to do next? I'm going to do, even though I wasn't in this area, I'm going to do a cactus. So let's put a little line, a line going up on one side that's a little bit longer than the line going up on the other. And then from here, you're going to do a curved line going out, a little hot dog shape, around, and back in. Same over here, out, around, and back in. And then you have the continuation of the middle piece up above, connecting those two. And then of course you need your little pricks, which can just be little dash lines down the cactus. Kind of want them going both ways. I want some that are on the inside and some that stick out on the outside. Now, how about right here? Let's do a wavy line that goes across and have it come up. On this side, it's going to come up also. We're going to round this around. And then we need to give this little guy a head, but I want the antenna to be on the inside of his head on one side. So because I'm working in pen, I need to account for that. So just a little bit in, like imagine here you're going to do a head that curves around. So a little bit in, I'm going to do a little line coming up, another little line next to it, and then a little round guy at the end. And now I can put that headline that comes up, jumps the line of the antenna, comes around, and then comes in. And there's my little banana slug. Where we went, there were lots of banana slugs. I jokingly said I was going to make out with each one because they always say that if you kiss a banana slug, it's good luck. And I'm going to give this guy a little eye. Just a little circle of light in it. Kind of do a little line here along the bottom just to break up the top half of his body and then the underside of his body. And the banana slug I saw had black spots, but what I think maybe even Rosie pointed out was on the back of my banana slug, there was a heart. So I'm going to put that heart in there and then just do some other little random spots. And there's our banana slug. He's pretty cute. That might be one of my favorite parts of this drawing so far. How about we do a little, not that we use these a lot anymore, but we're going to do a zigzag. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to come down, up, down. I can kind of curve these sides in a little. They can be straight, they can be curved, doesn't really matter. It'll make sense what we're drawing in just a second. Repeat the same shape you did up top. Up, down, up, down. You can see this is longer, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to extend that line. And now between the points, you're going to put just these faint, I'm barely touching with my pen. You could also do this with a skinnier pen, but I want lines, but I don't want them dark because what these really are is they're just creases. So if you haven't caught on, I'm drawing a map. So it would be folded up, right? So I don't want to actually put big solid lines through, but you would see some of the crease lines in it. And then maybe inside this map, let's do a little curved line and up and curve it down. And then a little one that builds off of that for some little mountains. On our map, we could put a simple sun on the corner of our map. Put some trees So just do those lines that come down, it comes out a little bit, and then the little wispies. Maybe you do a little lake formation. And it can go right across that center because that's really just, again, that's like your crease line. And then you could just do, maybe you have an X to mark the spot. And you could do little dashed lines that connect you to all the little places. Let's put a line here. And then we're going to bring 2 lines in on each side and a line down at the bottom to connect. We'll come out a little bit on each side on the top and then come up. And maybe this is our coffee cup. A lot of us need coffee on our road trips. Let's do a little line here. And then a circle built off of it. We'll do another line inside that. And then you can have your little dash lines coming in, going all the way around. And you could write numbers on these if you want to. It's my little speedometer dial. So I'm just drawing a little skinny arrow off of a circle shape in the center. And let's come down here. And we're going to draw, I think I want it here, yeah. An arrow. So a line out, bring these in, and then a rectangle off the back. So just like that. And then off of this shape, I'm going to do a line that comes a little bit out of this triangle. Off of the lower end, I'm going to come down and then come down over here as well and connect these. Below this, we'll draw another little rectangle. And now in the back, we need to do the stand. So we're going to do 2 lines in the middle here. This is connecting this top of this is a sign. So the sign to this part of the sign, and then the pole coming down. And then this is our motel sign. And you could make this a specific motel. You could do like a Motel 6. I'm going to put some little circles on here like this is lit up. And then vacancy. And you can see with letters, I just start putting them in the hopes that I fill the space, and they just kind of end up even within my space. And I'll be honest, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it doesn't always come out perfectly. And let's come right here and draw a rectangle. And we'll do a circle in the middle of it. I'm off again. Gosh, you guys, I am like way off of it right now. Another circle inside that. Put a little circle up here in the corner. A little box over on this side. And then just the little top portion, I'm going to do 2 angled lines in and connect those. So I have my little camera. Not everything is going to be like perfectly to scale. Some of the things, you know, your cactus is the same size as your sign, your coffee cup, you know, you're not really worried on doodles. My slug is quite large. You're not really worried about that too much on doodle pages. You kind of want things to be all sorts of different sizes. So don't worry too much about that. Don't get hung up on that at all. Let's see. I probably will put some music notes. Maybe I'll just have them coming up out of the bus, because I always like listening to music on my road trips. I'll just put a little cluster of them. Off to the side there. Let's do in here, I'm going to do the outside edge, one side of a curved rectangle. So let me do this space so you see kind of what I'm doing. So I'm leaving one side open, but doing the like downward part a little bit here, downward part a little bit here. I basically am trying to make a little bit of room because I'm going to do some stuff inside. So this line is going to come down, in, up, in, down, over, and connect. Did you follow that? I'm going to do a little thought bubble in this. So one of my little V's and a circle, or like an oval. And inside of that, I'm going to put Z's. And then do not disturb for our little sign that we would hang on the door. Do not disturb. Let's see, what else do I want to put on this? I mean, you could put a tent, a little tent off to the side somewhere. We drew a tent the other day, so we're just doing a simple rectangle. I mean, triangle, goodness. Curved line. Line angles down. Connect these two. And then your little lines on the top. And then for this one, I'm just going to do a little triangular shape for the door opening. You could do a beer would be good. So you could either do like a glass of beer. Oh, my pen is getting furry. Or a bottle of beer, or it could be a totally different drink if you usually stop for something else. So let's put up in this corner, I'm going to do a little line that goes across, bring it down, wave it a little bit. And then make that bottle shape. I'm doing a bottle. Again, another shape that when you're working in pen, you're probably never going to get it exactly right. Put a line going across. And I'm just going to write beer. You could do a soda cup. And then I would just color this in brown, give it the look of like that beer glass. Let's see. And then I would just maybe I'm going to come right off of this road trip sign, or this US 1 sign. And I'm going to do a line that curves up Comes right under the tires. Just like that. And then same here, but it's going to get wider. I just don't want it to run into my slug. Right above the banana slug. And I'm going to write in this in kind of again, block letters. An R. O. The nice thing about when you have these outside lines, you can make the letters like completely fit inside because you have these already a guide to go off of. So like for the D, I'm going to put the line, but then I'll use the road as part of that letter. Just have it kind of curve into it. It actually ends up making for a very easy way to do letters that come out about the same size for the shape. And of course, this is bigger than this, but that's because the road itself is getting bigger, right? If you don't want to do this, or you're struggling with letters, or maybe you're young and you don't spell yet, you could just do, you'll see in just a second, I'm going to put kind of like those highway dash lines on my road. So you could also just do that. If you don't like the look of the wording. So I have my letters on there, and then I'm just going to come in and do those little rectangular lines, the dashed lines in the road. And I'm not going to put them in between the lettering. I'm just going to pick them up. They're in the front, they're in the middle, and then they're going to come off of the end. In fact, I might have one come right off of the P. And then maybe one goes right off the edge of my page. Let's do a little circle right here with a little circle inside of it. And then I'm going to come off the back, straight, hump it around, and back in. You can put a little rectangle on the front for the hitch. Put a door in here, so just a little rectangle. Little doorknob. Just some decorative lines. Usually these trailers have at least, like a top color and a bottom color. And then we'll put a little window up here on the top. A little sunroof hatch up at the top. And I'm going to do some little curtains in my window. So just some little curved lines on each side. Let's make them polka dot. And I could color this tire in black. And then last little thing, we'll fit one more little thing on here. Someone had a great idea. So we will do I'm going to do like kind of a curved rectangle. Put mine up here. Have a little bit of room. Two little squares at the bottom. Oh, I'm almost off the page again, or off the camera. Let's do a little window. Two little shapes down here. Maybe one going this way. A little circle. And then I'm going to have a line coming off here. Another right below it. Kind of doing that old school gas. Let's do a little rectangle, like almost off the edge of my page. And then a little nozzle. So that's my little gas pump. Kind of that old school style. Now, as far as like in the background, I mean, you could add other things. You could really add all kinds of little doodles to finish the shape. You could have a car key. You could have a thermos. You could have a compass. Maybe you have a first aid kit. Maybe you have other luggage. You could draw more little trees throughout here. Or you could also do something where you kind of like what we did in the map, where you kind of do a dashed line, little dashes connecting to each little thing on the page. So it kind of ends up showing some movement within your road trip drawing. But, you know, like I said, maybe you put a bicycle somewhere in here because you see bicycles on, or sunglasses, or you draw a phone because you always have your phone with you on road trips. So lots of other little things that you could put in here. I'm going to leave it at that. That's a pretty good, almost 50 minutes spent drawing our little doodle of some of the things that we saw on our road trip and some things that are commonly seen on road trips. I will load this so people can color it if they like. And, you know, even if you're printing this out just to color it yourself, you could add little things to it. So use it as a template to get started and then fill it up some more yourself. So there you go. Thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow live at 8 p.m. for our pear, our peacock doodle. Not doodle, but peacock drawing. And then don't forget to also look for the pear event that's happening the following Saturday. So you can place your order if you're interested. The combo kit is coming with 3 different kinds of pear ciders. And then it's also coming with fresh pears. And then I think they're throwing some little added goodies in, postcards and things like that. So thanks again. I hope you had fun, and I will see you on Saturday, or I'll see you back here on Monday, and happy drawing. Bye, guys.